we get things rocking and rolling here today. So it's going to be a nice, short and sweet show talking all things baseball today. Got plenty of, football news and notes going on that maybe we'll touch on, but really nothing crazy going on. As far as news for today, from what I'm seeing, sounds like Shane McClanahan for the Rays, unlikely to pitch again in 2023. Made a move or two at the deadline, the Rays did, to bolster that rotation. Once it comes towards playoff time, obviously they're playing a lot better right now, but as far as making a deep playoff run, McClanahan at his best is obviously what you need. So shout out to everyone that's joining. Marty Lowe, nice to see you again. Thanks for stopping in. I know you said, what's up, Jeff? It is me today as far as the closing bell is concerned. But aside from that, we had yesterday talking all things baseball in the evening, a little bit of recap. I know we had at least one cancellation. That game is actually one of the two games, doubleheader, Nats and Phillies, going on right now. As far as yesterday is concerned, I believe we had a couple that we were spot on with as far as whether to beware, or maybe a couple live dogs. White Sox and Mets. Well, actually, the Mets were not on underdog, but White Sox and Mets get there. Cleveland, I know, was one I was leaning towards. That did not get to the window either. Reds and Marlins, I know it was a goofy one. I think I was leaning maybe the Marlins, but at least was saying that one was a goofy one. There was one bad one I know that I totally whiffed on that I'm drawing a blank on right now. Spencer Strider was the guy that I said I didn't, hard to get into that one, but I was confident Spencer Strider would have a good day for the Braves. That obviously did not happen. Pirates kicked the you-know-what out of him. So that one was my big fat wrong one. And then I think I had some thoughts on that Nationals and Phillies game. Didn't quite carry over. I think they mixed up the pitching matchups a little bit today, so didn't have quite the same thoughts today. But aside from that, we'll move right on. A lot of these same matchups as yesterday. A few teams that were inactive that'll be going on today. So we've got a full slate of baseball. Like I said, one game going on right now. Phillies and Nats 3-3. So we'll update if anything goes along in that regard. But aside from that, we've got plenty of games, so let's get right into it. I believe, again, 3 games starting at 5:40 my time, 6:40 East Coast time. You've got the Marlins and Reds once again today. Braxton Garrett, Luke Weaver on the mound for these two teams. Garrett last time, obviously, he's had an interesting season. Another guy in this Marlins rotation, like Yuri Perez yesterday, obviously didn't have his best stuff yesterday. Yuri Perez, I don't believe anyways. Braxton Garrett, another guy, young guy that they have a lot of high hopes for going forward as a piece of their rotation. But obviously outside of that one very hot streak that he had, he's been a little inconsistent. But last time out, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs for Garrett. Weaver, on the other hand, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs last time out. But these two teams just haven't been playing all too well this last week or so. Reds snapped their 6-game losing streak yesterday against the Marlins, and now the Marlins are a 5-game losing streak of their own here. So as far as today is concerned, lines for this game pretty similar to yesterday. So honestly, if you were, again, I know I was wishy-washy on this game. It was a little goofy with a total of 10. Again, they're kind of doing the same thing to you again. Don't want, maybe if I lean towards the Marlins again, the Reds pull one out again here today. But seeing a Reds team that just snapped their losing streak still be listed as a pretty hefty underdog at home against a team that they've got a better record again, or a better record overall against. They're at home. Marlins now have a 5-game losing streak on their record. It is goofy to see this one where it is at again here today. So I am actually a little stronger than yesterday. No, I was wrong if I was leaning towards the Marlins. A little bit stronger today. Going to be interested in this Marlins team. Not saying I'm diving all the way in on them. I do have this as one of my team totals for the season, Marlins. So hoping this collapse doesn't continue and I can get, I think it's over 76.5. So that's not baked into this at all. But nonetheless, to see this one right where it is again, a little interesting to me with how poorly this Marlins offense is running right now. Another total of 10. So I'm going to say Marlins win and this total goes over 10 because you get yesterday with a 10.5 and it falls at 5-2. Marlins offense obviously still struggling. Consensus would be that this one should be an easy under 10 here. So I'm going to say Marlins get the win, and you could either just slice it either way you like. If you honestly, as far as Marlins is concerned tonight, you would probably find better odds and better better value on their team total, if that's what we're talking about here today. So instead of laying the minus 140, minus 150, whatever you're seeing, got to get a touchdown, no extra point, 5.5 for the Marlins. But if I'm doing anything, I mean, in both respects, honestly, maybe I like the game total more than even leaning towards this Marlins team with everything that I mentioned here. It's another 5.5, 4.5 for these two team totals for each of these teams. So I'm going to lean towards a nice Braxton Garrett start. Potentially, or just a Marlins team finally waking up offensively and beating up Luke Weaver a little bit here. So that is where I'm going to lean if you're dying. Honestly, they're still making it tough for you in the first 5, not getting plus money or really even close to plus money on minus a hook, let alone the money line. So if you're hell-bent on this Marlins team offense waking up, definitely go for the team total instead of their money line. Or first 5, whatever it is. But I like some runs to be scored in this one, and I think this Marlins offense wakes up a little bit here today in Ohio. Minnesota, Detroit, next one up. Sonny Gray, Eduardo Rodriguez, decent little pitching matchup here. Both these guys, 2 earned runs last time out, 7 innings, 6 innings between the two of them. Twins 5-game win streak now, 5.5 up on Cleveland. They are, don't want to say running away with it. They could absolutely hit a little skid in Cleveland, as I mentioned. Hasn't really had any periods of having a hot offense, and I've seen it all too many times. So I'm not ruling it dead, but obviously it's looking more and more like this Twins team is it's going to control this division here the next month and a half. But certainly not over with. But at the end of the day, you've got the Minnesota Twins about minus 115. A little wonky as far as this money line is concerned with Sonny Gray on the mound. Obviously, Rodriguez, best pitcher in this Tigers rotation this season, excuse me. But Twins were minus 177 yesterday and ended up winning 9-3. So to see them with this winning streak, now only minus 115, definitely giving some respect to Rodriguez. But I'm going to say that that's a little bit stinky here, and you should be aware of this Twins team tonight a little bit here. Their offense could absolutely get stymied. 12, 5, and 9 these last 3 days. So they are, don't want to say the D word, but due for some the R word regression as far as offense is concerned. Could Rodriguez have a tough day? Sure. Could Sonny Gray have a tough day, great day? Sure. But at the end of the day, this one is feeling a little stinky with where yesterday's situation was with a 5-game win streak against a Tigers team who is not playing very inspired ball right now. 49-63. Obviously haven't really been a contender all season long, but they were when the AL Central was leader was 2 games under 500. They were 5-6 games out only a few weeks ago. So it's not like their season was done a month ago. So I'm labeling it done now. But at the end of the day, they've still got a little scrap to them, this Detroit team. So I'm going to go with Detroit as the side to take in this one. At the end of the day, it could just be a very low-scoring game, and maybe the bullpens will decide it. So maybe you would prefer the first 5 innings here with Detroit and Eduardo Rodriguez. Certainly wouldn't hate that at all if you're a little nervous about that full game. But I think you're going to see a good Eduardo Rodriguez start here today. St. Louis, Tampa Bay, same time here, still opening part of the evening slate. St. Louis and Tampa Bay. Mikolas and Eflin on the mound for these two. Rays offense, as I mentioned in the intro with McClanahan, unfortunate loss there as far as their rotation, but their offense is finally heating back up after a slump there in the middle of the season. Last couple of months there, let the Orioles take the lead in the division. They are 6-3 in their last 9 games. Eflin has shown some flashes of some really good pitching lately. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs last time out. Mikolas, on the other hand, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs his last time out. He was pretty solid last time out as well. And I don't believe these two teams played each other yesterday. No, St. Louis just came off a 2-3 loss at home to Colorado, which obviously can't do. The 2023 Cardinals remain the 2023 Cardinals is the story with them. Like I said, Tampa Bay's offense is heating up. They have been going back and forth the last 5 games or so. Did take 2 out of 3 from Detroit. And their offense was lively on Sunday, 10-6 win over the Tigers there. But this one is an interesting one. Obviously, this Cardinals team can have some life every now and then. Mikolas has shown some life himself every now and then. So I'm not really sure what to make of this one. I wouldn't be so hell-bent on a Eflin really nice start. I think he'll be fine. Maybe 2-3 earned runs allowed. He's kind of been going back and forth a little bit. 5 earned runs, no earned runs, 5 earned runs, no earned runs. I'm not saying he's going for 5. I think it'll be maybe more in the middle there, 2-3 earned runs. So then, you kind of have to figure out what you think Mikolas is going to do against this Rays rotation. He's been he was good last time out. Aside from that, also a little hit or miss. So I'm going to lean towards maybe this one just kind of being a toss-up at the end of the day and not really interested in paying the tax for Tampa Bay here. I'll lean towards them getting a one-run victory or something along those lines. Obviously, I'm sure, probably not super interested in taking the Cardinals, but at the end of the day, I don't know that this one, I think the line is fair, I guess is what I'm saying, but not counting the Cardinals out of this one. Just don't have much of a feel for this one at all here. Houston and Baltimore, probably going to stay away from this one. This is Framber Valdez versus, I believe, Grayson Rodriguez. Valdez coming off of his no-hitter. Not quite sure what you're going to get out of him in the follow-up of that no-hitter. He obviously had the no-hitter, only one walk. Trying to pull up how many pitches he had in that start there. That was Tuesday the 8th. Only had 93 pitches, so obviously it was not overly taxed. It wasn't like he was going 110 pitches or anything like that. Grayson Rodriguez, on the other hand, has been a little hit or miss. A lot better these last three, though. 3 earned runs or less in each of the last 3. 2 earned runs, 0 earned runs. 2 hits, 3 earned runs last time out against Toronto. So he's been a lot better. Houston, the favorite, obviously, with Valdez on the mound, however. Shout out to the Orioles for reinstating their broadcaster, by the way. Didn't get a chance to rant about that yesterday. A load of BS as far as that is concerned. Glad that he is coming back on Friday. If you didn't see this whole thing, go check it out. It was a giant fat mess. Egregious move towards their broadcaster there. But nonetheless, I'm going to lean towards maybe some runs being scored in this one. And over 8.5 with a guy in Valdez, who I am a massive fan of. Obviously, some of that is with Grayson Rodriguez there, but he's been pitching well. So I'm going to go towards the over in this one. Whether that's all Rodriguez, whether that's a mix of both, I don't know. I typically am not overly excited about backing a pitcher who just went a full 9 innings through a no-hitter. Obviously, only 93 pitches. But at the end of the day, an 8.5 following a no-hitter for a very good pitcher and another pitcher on the other side who's been good lately is a little goofy. So I'm going to go towards an over 8.5 on this one. I think it is a little pill to swallow, but you go over 8.5. I think you're going to get a few runs on both sides of things here. I think this one could be a really good game here. So that is where I'm leaning in Baltimore tonight. That is obviously a big game playoff standings. Both these teams trying to lock their place in there. Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Chirinos versus Keller tonight. Minus 164 for the Braves after what their line was last night. Quite a big difference there, but obviously Strider to now Chirinos is the biggest difference there. Keller, the best pitcher of this Pirates rotation. However, last time out, 5 innings, 9 hits, 8 earned runs. So he is licking his chops to get back out there and get a bounce back in. Pittsburgh wins 7-6 yesterday. As I mentioned, I was very wrong about Spencer Strider there. Braves now at a 3-game losing streak, but they've scored 6+ in all of those outings. So obviously, it is a little goofy to see the Braves as short as they are here. But I think. I honestly don't know what to make of it. You got a total of 10. I don't think it's as easy as you would think. You could get the Braves at a run line against the Pirates at minus 104. It is a little bit stinky there. This Pirates team has been a lot better these last couple of weeks as opposed to their, I believe it was just June, July, a giant slump after the nice start that they had. They've been a lot better this last couple of weeks here. In Pittsburgh, and they've repassed St. Louis in that division, for whatever that's worth. And obviously the Cubs have had their hot streaks, so they're sitting at 4th, but 51-61 after where they were and the way they were skidding is nice to see for them. So I'm not saying I'm all in on the Pirates. I'm just saying, buyer where you wear on this Braves team. Don't think it's as easy money as this line would suggest here, as much as you might think on paper with a 70-win team up against a 51-win team here. So I'm going to back off of this one. Maybe you get a really good Keller, and that's why we're looking at these lines here. Maybe you got a terrible Chirinos start. I don't know. I'm going to back off of it, but I would not be surprised to see any outcome out of that game there. Cubs and Mets tonight. Obviously, this was one of the ones I was interested in yesterday. Mets get the win 11-2. Jameson Taillon versus Carlos Carrasco. Taillon, we've been following quite a bit all season long. He's been a lot better these last 5 starts. Only 2 earned runs last time out. Carrasco, on the other hand, has been very bad in his last 4. 6 earned run in each of his last 2 starts on top of a bad just 4-start stretch in general. So now with that in mind, you've got the Cubs back at minus 134 here on the road. Still seems a little goofy with how well they've been playing. I imagine a lot of people looking at this one, seeing they drop 1, now they bounce back a little bit. This Cubs team is going to be we've talked about them, they're going to be a really streaky team. And that's as hot as they've been this last week. They might have another ice-cold stretch this next week or so. So a little torn on this one altogether here, but I think you could absolutely see a Jameson Taillon regression. And Carlos Carrasco potentially going the opposite way. I really think after 4 bad starts, he is in a spot where he could have a very, very nice outing here tonight. So I'm going to lean towards the Mets again on the money line in this one, or maybe more preferably the first 5 money line there. But at the end of the day, I with how hot the Cubs were against obviously the same old Mets that we've seen all season long with a pitcher that's not pitching well, I'd like to see this money line quite a bit steeper than this if I was respecting the Cubs here. So I'm going to respect this Mets side of things here and go with the Mets again here in New York for day 2 of this series. And move on, and hopefully, again, probably at a spot where I'm not betting it because I kind of take my money and run with them yesterday. But nonetheless, I'm leaning towards the Mets again here today at the plus money spot there. Royals and Red Sox next one up. Brady, Singer, Cutter, Crawford. Both these guys have been good lately. Singer, 8 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs last time out. Very good. He's been good for a few starts in a row. Crawford, 5 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs. Also been pretty solid last couple, only going 5 innings or so regardless. Royals, as we talked about, they had a nice little win streak last week. Now they've lost 3 in a row. Red Sox win 6-2 to end a nice little skid there. So kind of backing all the way off of this one because another team in the Red Sox, very similar to the Cubs, where they're just going to be very streaky all season long. So I don't know if they're going to follow yesterday up with another nice series here against the Royals or if they're going to fall back into what they were looking like last week. Same thing with the Royals. Whenever you have a bad team like that, have 7 wins in a row, sure, they've lost 3 in a row, but there's still a little bit of life in them right now. So I'm going to back all the way off of this one. Nothing at all would surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if the Red Sox won by 20. Wouldn't surprise me if the Royals won by 20, honestly, or if this was a 3-2 game either way. Nothing would surprise me in this one. I am staying clear away from that one. Toronto and Cleveland is the next one up. Kikuchi versus Tanner Bybee. Bybee, 3 earned runs or less in each of his last starts. He has been quietly very, very solid for this rotation. Kikuchi, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run last time out. Jays get the win 3-1 yesterday. This Cleveland offense is just not playing well at all right now. You got a flat 8 on the game total here. So I kind of respect this Cleveland team to break out of this funk that they're in, but until I see it, I don't have too much interest in them right now. On the other side of things, with the way Toronto's playing, would like to see them at at least minus 40 spot or even higher. This game actually opened up with Cleveland as the favorite and has since flipped. So if you want to respect that opening number, and maybe you were on Cleveland yesterday, maybe today is the day that they bounce out of that and maybe get Kikuchi for a few and potentially spark their offense a little bit. And maybe I guess I'm also a little worried that Tanner Bybee is going to regress here at some point. Young pitcher, like I said, 8 in a row, really solid starts. The regression is coming at some point there. So I'll lean towards Cleveland again, but I'm going to stay off of them until they show some signs of life offensively there. Going to stay away from Game 2 of the Washington-Philly game, especially with the current one still happening in the 4th inning, tied 3-3 there. So skipping right past that one. Colorado and Milwaukee. Next one up. Brewers win 12-1 yesterday. Freeland today versus Wade Miley. Miley start number 2 after IL, so a little, if you follow me, you know I don't like to get into those type of starts. He 4 innings, 1 earned run last time out. It didn't go too far. Didn't throw too many pitches, I'm trying to say. Freeland 4 earned run last time out is what it is for the most part there. The Brewers minus 215, 220 today. Yesterday, I believe, was minus 260, even steeper yesterday. So I've kind of had some success in random spots with this Colorado team, typically more so at home. They obviously have been pretty damn ugly. Also feel decent that, say, Milwaukee team putting up 12 yesterday might regress a little bit today. So whether I'm interested in, I don't know if I'm too interested in Colorado at the money line, live dog, a little bit action there, or if I'm just interested in Milwaukee, even under 4.5 at plus money wouldn't wouldn't be too crazy for me. I don't typically do under team totals, but I think their offense is going to regress quite a bit today. Obviously, Freeland can get hit up, so it is a tough pill to swallow a little bit there. But it's an offense that goes back and forth in Milwaukee there. So, again, not trying to judge too much what's going on with Wade Miley. Otherwise, I might either look at Colorado team total or even money line. But I feel decent that Milwaukee's going to be held down run-wise a little bit here today. So I'm going to lean towards Milwaukee under team total actually today. White Sox at home against the Yankees. That was one of our better looks yesterday. I don't believe Garrett Cole was too bad yesterday. Dylan Cease was real solid. White Sox, I know, had some, I believe, some late action there. They were up 2-0 early and then held that lead quite a bit and then got a couple late in the game there. So Cole actually did give up 4 earned runs, but 2 of them were in that 8th inning there. So. But nonetheless, we've got Clark Schmidt versus Touki Toussaint here for the White Sox here today. Not as solid of a billing of a pitching matchup as we had yesterday with Cole and Cease, but Schmidt 5 innings, 2 earned runs last time out. Toussaint 5 1/3, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs last time out. White Sox get the 5-1 win yesterday. So I really don't know what to make out of this one. I have not any type of feel for either of these pitchers. I've had a couple nice spots. Predicting some regression from Clark Schmidt, which it really hasn't happened in a while. He's been pretty solid for the most part here these last few months. So if I'm being a homer, I'll say the White Sox can get to him a little bit, but wouldn't surprise me if the Yankees got to Toussaint here a little bit as well. Flat 9, though, if you were talking about a light show and one or both of these pitchers getting lit up, I would have liked to at least see a 10 here. So I really don't know what to make out of this one. Obviously, you have to take what I say with a grain of salt with the White Sox, but if I've got no feel at all, I'm not going to try and make a guess here. So I'll say somehow this one stays under with a 4-3 game either way or something along those lines there. But I'm kind of eating my words. I don't really know what to make out of this one. Giants and the Angels. Angels lose again yesterday. Their skid ugliness right now still continues. As long as that is still correct. Yeah, Alexander for the Giants is going to be a bullpen game. Don't love bullpen games from a betting perspective from my side of things. Lucas Giolito, my man over there from the south side to the Angels. Start number 3 for him. First one was decent. Last time out was very, very ugly. 3 2/3, 9 earned runs for him. He has been fairly good in bounce back starts, though, this year at least. Giants did get the 8-3 win yesterday. So in this one, I am actually, again, kind of have to take what I say with Lucas Giolito with a grain of salt. He was obviously on the White Sox for the last 4 or 5 years or so. But again, like I said, he's due for those type of ugly starts every now and then. July 18th gave up 8 runs to the Mets, followed that up with 6 hits, 0 earned runs against the Reds the time after that. 7 earned runs earlier in the season, followed that up with 1 earned run after that. So if we're going off that blueprint, he has been really solid after those ugly starts that he has had. I also feels like he's got to be fantastic tonight to get this Angels skid out of the way for him, get him back on track there. So I will lean towards Lucas Giolito and the Angels. If you want to go the first 5, that's fine. Again, have no idea what the Angels offense is going to do against this Giants pitching staff, though. It is a bullpen game with Alexander getting the start. He might only go an inning or 2, if that. He might even finish the first inning, if depending on how things go. So this is going to be a goofy one. I am definitely leaning over to the Angels. First 5, and I'll say the money line, but I would feel more comfortable with the first 5 with Lucas Giolito potentially being good for the first 5 or 6 innings there. Don't know what's going to happen in the back end, though. So that is where I'm leaning with that one. We can kind of skip over Texas and Oakland. You got Max Scherzer and Sears on the mound. I believe that's start number 2 for Scherzer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, start number 2. He was okay last time out. 7 hits, 3 earned runs. Sears, 6 hits, 2 earned runs for the A's last time out. Rangers now up to 7-game win streak. Get the 5-3 win yesterday. If you've got any feel for this one, betting against the Oakland A's, with the Oakland A's, feel free, have at it. I have not had any success. So I'm going to steer clear. You've seen over under 7.5. So not really sure what to make of that one. Obviously, that typically means there's going to be a good pitching matchup, but you might have Max Scherzer being unbelievable and Sears giving up 6, and we've got a 6-0 outing here. So I'm staying far away from it. Wouldn't surprise me if Scherzer isn't very good tonight either, and the Oakland A's pull off something goofy. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I know I'm wearing green and yellow. Different green and yellow, though, but maybe that's a sign that the A's might have something that their sleeve for Scherzer, but do not quote me on that at all. Dodgers and Arizona is an interesting one. You've got Urias versus, I believe it's pronounced Fad. Obviously, that I should have stuck with the first one. That last one was an ugly one. Urias, 5 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs last time out. Much better last time out. He's had a couple of those better starts, and then followed up with an ugly one. So not sure if his problems are fixed or if he's grinding through these starts a little bit. Fad on the other side, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks last time out. But this Diamondbacks team, 6 losses in a row. They are struggling right now. They have lost all standing that they had earlier in the season. Dodgers on the flip side have been playing very well, taking this division by the stranglehold here. So Dodgers minus 160 with Urias on the mound, 9.5 on the total. I think this could get ugly both ways here. I don't know what to make out of these. Not the best feel with pitchers having regression starts in there, when they're rookie like Fad is, but would feel decent with a regression start there. And as far as Urias is concerned, I don't know if he's back to his old self or if he's got a bad, ugly regression start in him. So I'll lean towards the Diamondbacks ending this losing streak that they've got going on, but certainly not in love with it by any means. Their offense just has not been good at all. 3 runs or less in each of the last 5. And yet we've got a total of 9.5 here with a team total for them of 4.5 at plus money. So aside from trying to figure out what Fad is going to do, if you like the Diamondbacks, go to that, try and find some plus money on the team total and expect them to not only, hopefully for their sake, get out of the slump that they're in and get the win, but at the very least, maybe they can at least get some offensive runs on the board and end their offensive slump. Even if they do lose the game, would be a nice silver lining for their offense to get some runs on the board there. Martinez and Gilbert for the Padres and the Mariners is the last one up. Martinez is going to be a bullpen start for the Padres there. Gilbert, 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs last time out. Mariners 5-game win streak there, now 3 back in the wild card. Good for them getting out of that 500 back and forth phase that they had been in. Padres obviously 3 games under, still can't get out of that themselves. Mariners minus 120 on the money line tonight. Last night it was about the same this is the first game of this series. That's right. Mariners did not play yesterday. So minus 120 today for the Mariners with Gilbert on the mound. Again, don't typically know what to make out of these bullpen starts. And I've had better feel with Gilbert whenever he's coming off of either a very good start or a very bad start. So kind of in the middle here. Would feel decent about him having a really nice start here today. I just, like I said, I've had better feel when he's in a clear bounce back start, a clear regression start. So not really in either of those situations here today. Mariners actually minus 120 at home with the way they're playing against a Padres team that still can't get out of their own way. Maybe that is a little bit of a Padres number. Now, the more that I crack it down and break it down a little bit at plus money, I would like to see, that's fair. I would like to see Gilbert and the Mariners with a 5-game win streak. And if we're looking at a good Gilbert start at minus 140, at least here at home, especially. So I actually might be leaning, now that I'm talking about it, I'm kind of leaning towards this Padres team tonight. Put up 7 on, I believe that was yesterday. Oh, that's why I was calling myself issues. Padres did play yesterday. 7 runs and a loss. So their offense the last few days has actually been pretty good. Couple of losses with some big offensive outputs. So I'll go with their offense to heat up a little bit. Mariners have managed Saturday, Sunday, got 3-2 wins. So maybe their offense is kind of sticking right where they're at. 2-3 runs here tonight. So I'll go with San Diego getting the win now that we've talked through it. And that is going to be the final one of the evening. So thank you all for stopping by here today. Don't have too much going on today. Philly's actually up 6-3 now in game 1. Got a big inning there. I don't know if that was a 4th or 5th inning, but nonetheless, that is going to be all from it today. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you, Connor, for also popping in the chat. As always, I believe I will be here again tomorrow. I know, obviously, keep everyone in your prayers on the East Coast. Got a lot of tornado warnings. Keep Jeff in your prayers. The man is all right as far as I am concerned, but obviously got to keep him in your prayers with tornadoes and our joke. So make sure we stay responsible to ourselves tonight, my friends. Hope you all have a very, very good evening. Best of luck. If you've got anything going on tonight, I hope you take it to the window with ease, and hopefully there's no sweatiness. But nonetheless, like I said, always stay true to yourself and ask for help if you need it. So thank you all for stopping by. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Hope you all have a fantastic evening.